You are now watching The Conservative Wolf. I am never a victim, always a victor.
For those of us that would like to have our own destiny and our own place, if that doesn't come into fruition, and I'm still a U.S. citizen and I meet all of the qualifications, I would most certainly cast my hat into the ring for the vote for the presidency of the United States.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, The Conservative Wolf. Once again, welcome to the spot. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much, as always. So, let's get off in this issue, right? That's Grandmaster Flash, or whatever he calls himself, of the NFAC, the Not Fucking Around Coalition, right? And so you see what he's talking about, right? Like, I watched this guy, man, and I had to do a video on this dude because I mean, listen, I'm okay. If the Black Panthers, we took them seriously. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Black Panthers were serious. They were forced to be reckoned with. This guy right here, man, with his little sparkly Barbie doll, Ken doll, whatever shirt he's wearing, you can't really take this guy seriously, man. I mean, he's already demonstrated his lack of knowledge with firearms, and you've had NFAC members that shot themselves in the leg and the foot and all that. I mean, these people are a joke, man. I mean, most people, he talking about militias, most people that are in militias understand how to properly use a firearm, right? And, I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with a black militia. I'm all for it. But let's just talk about some things here for a minute. You heard what he just talked about, and that's just one little clip. I'm gonna play y'all some more stuff that he said on the show, on this other show he was on, and basically, man, you get to see this dude's mindset, and it's I don't know, I think it's just kind of crazy. This guy's not, I can't take him seriously. First of all, you're gonna name this is what you're gonna name your militia group, the Not Effing Around Coalition. Really? Come on, man. Come on. That's just, to me, that just smacks of ghetto, elementary school minded, I mean, teenage kid type stuff. I mean, if you want to be taken seriously, then you need to have a serious title. I mean, not fucking around. Come on, man. Come on, dude. You sound ghetto as hell. You sound like some angry brother in the hood that just wants to be seen and heard, and you just want some attention. And you got a bunch of other angry black folks that want some attention right along with you. That's how you coming across. And all this stuff that you talking, I'm really tripping how some of these same people, how do you want equality, but you want everything separate? Like, you claim you're not getting equality. You claim that we live in such a systemically racist country, but you want your own separate stuff. So how does that work? We all supposed to be Americans, right? So what are you? If you don't want to claim America, well, you were born and raised here, so that makes you an American citizen. So what are you? You from Wakanda now? Well, Black Panther came out, and some of these pro-black people have lost their damn mind. Hey, man, look, I like T'Challa. I like Black Panther. I've always been a fan of Black Panther. But I'm an American. Let's get our head out our asses, shall we? I mean, really, come on, man. This is ridiculous. This dude right here, see, this is what happens when you can't let some black people watch certain movies, and then they get a little AR-15 in their hand, and all of a sudden, ooh, I'm gonna be Billy Badass, you know what I'm saying? I'll be bigger than the Black Panthers, you know. And it's like, man, come on, man. You know, I don't, this guy's just a joke. But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all listen to the rest of this crazy rhetoric this dude's got to say, man. I mean, you know, y'all tell me, am I tripping? You know, am I tripping? Of course, you know, I can't play the whole thing in its entirety because it's pretty long. And then that would violate, you know, YouTube standards, you know. They're not gonna let me play somebody else's stuff that long, so I'll just play y'all a little bit of it, and y'all tell me what y'all think, man. But yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Um, and the thing about it, these people actually really believe this crap. They're the same type of people that talk about black people that talk about voter suppression, right? And when I found out what they were talking about with voter suppression, I'm thinking to myself, are you stupid? People can't be this stupid and ignorant. Voter suppression because what? They require you to have proper identification. Duh. You had to have proper identification and credentials to drive a motor vehicle. You had to show proper ID whenever you go in a place to conduct business, like when you go to a bank to open up a bank account, you have to show ID. There are a lot of times you had to break out some identification. If you go to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription, guess what? You got to show the pharmacist you are who you say you are. So why all of a sudden, because it's got to do with voting, it's so different now. And you can tell the black people who are, the Democrats got them gone, man. They can't think for themselves. Oh man, all good. Well, you know, maybe you had problems because, I mean, I don't have problems wherever I go. I show my ID, I'm good. I never have issues. These black people that somehow always got issues with ID, you know, now you'll have those kind of issues if you got, you know, a criminal record or something, or, you know, or maybe your ID is expired, you know, or maybe you just got a funky ass attitude and you going up there giving people a hard time so they give you a hard time. Either way it goes, it's really stupid, this whole thing. And you get these clowns like this guy here, Grandmaster Funk Flex or whatever. I don't know what the hell. I don't even take the guy seriously. Now y'all tell me if y'all think I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should take the man seriously. I don't know. Just my humble personal opinion that and then he goes on to say something else about oh well, you know, when he was talking about militias and what militias, the purpose of a militia, and talking about how militias are supposed to be able to be called upon to act in our country's best interest, right? Now here's the thing that I don't understand. You're saying that your militia is all about black people and black people only, right? So you really hate America, is what it looks like. I mean, the hate speech is there, and I hate to use the term hate speech, Lord have mercy, because it sounds just like these liberals, but I mean, these anti-American people, y'all know the language that they use. So how are you going to say what militias, the definition of militias are that, but you have a black militia that is anti-American? So what happens if something go down, and can the government call on you, black Americans in this militia, NFAC, huh? And you know, he was asked about, you know, what do they do, you know, in these inner cities and stuff, and you know, of course, you know, he's like, oh no, we got all these programs when we talk to and it's like, well, okay, but nobody is visibly seeing you guys marching in Chicago. And like a true liberal, you know, he evades certain questions, gets angry, gets in his feelings and everything. And I mean, they're valid questions. So, anyways, guys, it's gonna be another long video. So y'all just check it out, man, and tell me what y'all think, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's your boy, the Conservative Wolf, man. Love you guys. Y'all take it easy. Watch out for each other. God bless you. And remember, you are victors, never victims. So let's go ahead and roll it.
I don't get into discussions about my religious beliefs, but that's one of the things that we're guaranteed under the Constitution. I don't feel the need to discuss that in this environment.
Well, I noticed that you guys marched on in Stonewall Mountain, Georgia, something like that. And there was a whole bunch of guys dressed in blacks with guns and things like that. What I don't understand about your organization, NFAC, and people like you guys, I don't know what you want. America is a big country. You can do what you want in this country. You can build, you can have families, you can live where you want. When I was growing up, that's the way it was. And I grew up in Alabama on a plantation. And black people were more successful then with marriage and family and land ownership and businesses than they are today. What do you want exactly from the white people?
Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you phrased it the way you did, because I too grew up in the old days. Don't let the smooth looks fool you. It is the fact that you and I both have sat back and witnessed a deterioration, not only of the morals and the precepts of that which we used to live under, but also a steady return and a sliding backwards to the days reminiscent of Jim Crow and those particular practices, not from all people who are not of color, but from a select group that have become more prominent in the last 4 years, thus creating the rise of the NFAC. It's not what we want from white people. We don't want anything from white people. What we want to do is to determine our own destiny. What we want to do is to not exist under a system that treats us as second-class citizens through systemic racism and practices that have been ingrained in this country for the last 240 some odd years. What we desire are reparations for the 246 years of free labor that our descendants gave to this country, which made it wealthy, and that a lot of those companies still exist today. What we desire is restitution. What we would like to see is a reform of the policing within this country, a reform of the judicial system, and of course the treatment of all folks equally under the law. These are the things that we've seen that have begun to deteriorate in this country, in spite of all the great opportunity that you speak of, in spite of all the wealth that this country has amassed, in spite of all the political power that this country has around the world. It is still subjecting a certain population within its borders to what we would call human rights violations. So it's not what we want from them. We don't want anything. What we want is the right to determine our own destiny and the ability to defend ourselves. If you study the history of militias within this country, and I don't know why it's such an issue that black people formed the militia when there have been white militias around for years, and the purpose that they serve under the Constitution in the event that they have to be called up by the president to augment military function within a state or for the nation. It didn't become an issue until black people decided to form a militia to protect themselves, not to attack anyone, not to demand anything. But militias are used to emphasize a political position. The Democrats had militias that actually went out and committed acts of violence back in the 1800s. The Republicans had militias that went out and drove their points home during the Civil War. We, as a militia, would simply push forward a political point that no one who is not going to honor or try to help the black people to try to overcome together with us the 5 things that we have determined from a census that has been done across, we hope, most of the population, that we can have those that require us to have our political support or our financial worldwide.
Everything that you just said sounds like a bunch of complaints. It's so...
Well, let me answer your question. Number one, we haven't run up and down the street and done anything, so don't terminize us that way. Additionally, we haven't made a complaint about anything. Secondly, you shocked me that you haven't done your research about the NFAC. We are very deeply involved in gang.
But you just said systemic racism and all that. If that doesn't exist...
I let you talk, sir. If 2 black men are going to sit here and have a conversation, then let's have a conversation.
Respond to my question.
I'm responding, but to cut me off while I'm talking is a form of disrespect that I don't tolerate.
Go ahead.